Ghana cannot fix your problems. What happens is when you move to Ghana, your problems are magnified. You feel like, oh, men are this, men are that. Come to Ghana, you'll find the same problems here as well. Men are this, men are that. There's people that I have met that, okay, you're nice and yeah, we can understand each other, we can vibe on a certain level, but I know that we can never be friends. Okay, you come to Ghana, you leave behind racism, but guess what you get instead? You may have a certain sense of a luxury lifestyle when you come here, but you now have certain issues that you didn't even have in the West. Your move to Ghana should not be an emotional one. It has to be strategic for it to work. Not 1,005 because you still have $1,000 of debts left in the West that you're still having to handle. Ghana is not a bandage for issues that you have. It's a place where you come to heal. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so today's video, I want to talk about why Ghana is not a solution for you. Okay, when you come to Ghana, there's some things that you need to understand. Now, one of the things that I want everybody to understand is that Ghana cannot fix your problems. Some people think that moving to Ghana or moving to another country is going to fix all the issues that they have, and it doesn't work like that. That is definitely not how it works. You cannot outrun your problems. If that is what you're doing, if that is what your move is about, you cannot outrun your problems. Now, this video is going to... It can be cut across the whole world, right? No matter where you're going. But there are some things I'm going to speak about that are going to be specific to Ghana or to Africa, all right? So, now the reason that I say that Ghana cannot fix your problems is that you cannot outrun them. There are certain things that if you don't do the inner work for, if you don't fix those things, you're simply taking them with you. You may be like... You may be prolonging the timeline by moving to another country, but ultimately those issues are still there. So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So if in the West you were financially unstable, the chances are that when you come to Ghana, you're still going to be financially unstable, right? You're still going to have those issues that you had before because you haven't solved the problem. You're just running away from it. Okay, so and the reason I say that you're prolonging it is because what you're doing is you are moving from a place where the currency is like pounds, right? The pound is the pound, right? Every time you buy it, it's like a pound. It's a pound. It's a pound. You know you're spending pounds. But now when you come to Ghana, for example, you're talking about currency conversion. And we all know that even with the fluctuating currency right now, you're still winning if you're coming from UK or the States or whatever, because you're bringing your pounds or your dollars, right? And by the time you convert, you're one up, right? A few more than one up, because right now, as of recording this video, the pound is about 14 to 1. And the dollar is about 10.5 to 1 or something like that, right? So you're winning. So every time you change a dollar, you're getting 14 cedis. That puts you ahead of a lot of people. So your expenses slow down when you come here. But if you have been in a situation where you mismanage money, right? You don't know how to budget people properly. You don't know how to stick to your budget. You don't know how to manage your finances, right? Then you're going to only transfer that to Ghana. And at some point, you're going to run into problems here. Like nothing has changed. You haven't tried to fix your money issues. All you've done is just run away from them. You're literally just hiding from your problems. Again, it also works with, for example, if you say you go through a divorce, right? And you think, okay, I've had enough. I want a fresh start. Like I want to come get myself an African man, right? You want to do that. Now, if you come to Ghana for that purpose, if you have not done the inner work, you are not going to be able to run away from whatever your issues were. Whatever the breakdown of your marriage was, whatever issues you had around dating are going to happen here too. Now, I can even go a step further and say that it's going to be even worse. Because what happens is when you move to Ghana, your problems are magnified. You don't run away from there. Everything becomes magnified. Ghana becomes a mirror. Ghana is not somewhere that's going to take your problems from you. It's going to put a mirror in front of you until you address those issues. So if you're running away from divorce issues that you had and you've been trying to date in the West and it hasn't been working for you, you're going to come to Ghana. You're going to face a different set of battles. And ultimately, the problems that you had are still going to be present here until you do the work. So let me try and give you some examples. So in Ghana, when you come to date, right, you're talking about dating this African man that has certain values, certain principles that you're not even used to. So where you think, okay, well, you know, someone from the UK, you know, they are, I don't know, they're not romantic, or they're not, you know, they're not opening doors for me when I enter the car. They're not paying for things. They always wanted me to do 50-50 and all of that stuff, right? Oh, but you've heard that Ghanaian men don't do that. Yeah, Ghanaian men typically will not ask you to pay 50% of the bill when he takes you out on a date. But he's going to expect other things for you ultimately. Ghanaian man will buy you certain things, right? He can like take you on a shopping spree, he can do all those things for you. He will open the door for you when you're getting into the car. He can do some of these romantic things, right? But there comes a, like, it's payback now. Like, which hotel are we going to? Read between the lines is what I'm saying. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's not a free ride. Like, it's like dating rules in the West and dating rules here in Ghana are different. So yes, they will teach you stuff, but you have to understand the culture here as well, because it's not the same. So whatever issues that you have there, if you felt a certain type of way within yourself when it comes to dating, you feel like, oh, men are this, men are that. Come to Ghana, you'll find the same problems here as well. Men are this, men are that. Like, there's no perfect person in the world for starters. So all you're doing is transferring your problems from one country to another. They got on a plane with you and they flew here. They got off at Kotoka International Airport, and that's where you are now. And the issues are still there because you haven't dealt with them. Like, if you know that there's certain things, do therapy, do your inner work. If you can't afford therapy, make sure you reflect on certain things that are within you that you know you can deal with. Use your opportunity in Ghana to be at peace, be still. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, just find somewhere that it means tranquility to you, right? And just take the time out to just slow down. Because once you slow down in Ghana, you start to think, you start to process properly. You ponder on things that you didn't have time to ponder on in the West. And that's why I said, when I moved to Ghana, and I was married, I had issues in the UK that were not dealt with. So when I came to Ghana, they were magnified and it became a whole palaver until it was a complete breakdown. Those issues should have been dealt with. But honestly, I'm just going to say this. I think if those issues were dealt with in the UK, we would have broken up in the UK because they were not going to change. But anyway, this video is not about me specifically. So there are issues that will just be magnified when you move to Ghana. If you're financially irresponsible, if you have issues around men or women or how you're being treated, you're still going to have those issues. Even when it comes to friendships, right? If you were someone who was lonely, you felt like you were lonely in the West, nobody understands you, this, that, and the other, then when you come to Ghana, you're going to have the same problems. And maybe even worse, because you have no support system here. And the people that maybe you didn't consider as friends, but you could call up, right? You're now in a country where you don't have that. Now you're having a different type of journey because you're now experiencing a journey, one that they can't understand because maybe they haven't been to Africa, they're not here with you. They're not doing day-to-day living life with you, okay? So you can't continuously report in every day, oh, today this happened, that. It's different, right? They're living their life. Life goes on. You know, it's the same like when someone passes away, like life still goes on. No one stands still for anything. So the issues that you have will just be transferred here. So if you have been feeling lonely, if you don't look at the underlying root of where that loneliness comes from or why it's like that and deal with the issues that surround you and not just think, oh, I was lonely because in the UK, you know, people just didn't understand me for who I was. And when you come here, the same thing applies here, the same exact thing. Like, people still won't understand you. In fact, it will be worse here because you're talking about mixing in with a culture that we are still trying to understand each other. We're still trying to find common ground between who we are as people, the diaspora and Ghanaians. We're trying to find that. You know, we're trying to understand how we can build relationships together, how we can do business together, how we can live together comfortably, right? So these things are going to be issues that will be here waiting for you when you land, because nothing has changed, right? And even finding people here, finding a community here is harder because you have gone from a whole city that has your way of thinking in a sense, right? To a city that doesn't understand your way of thinking. So now you're having to find, small pockets of people that can perhaps relate to you. And even if you find people that can perhaps relate to you, it's not everybody that we get along with. Let's be honest. There's people that I have met that, okay, you're nice and yeah, we can understand each other. We can vibe on a certain level, but I know that we can never be friends. There are people that I know here like that. Like, okay, yeah, we're cool, I know you, but I can never be friends with this person because our principles, our ideologies are just completely different. And that's what you're going to find here. So if you're coming here because you are lonely or because you want to establish friendships, you're going to make it harder for yourself here. And that doesn't mean that when you come to Ghana, you're going to be, it cuts across, like everybody's lonely. It's not like that. There are times in Ghana where once you find your community of people, you find like sisterhood or brotherhood, like people become really close here because you're all facing the same battles. But it's difficult to find these people. So Ghana's not going to fix those issues if you don't do the inner work and make peace with certain things within yourself. You might think that, okay, well, I'm leaving the West because, I'm fed up of racism. I'm fed up of, I can't progress in the way that I want to progress. Okay, you come to Ghana, you leave behind racism, but guess what you get instead? You get classism. You get issues with tribalism. You get issues with people not understanding the culture that you've come from. You get a different set of issues. So, okay, no more racism, but now you're facing this. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, when you come to Ghana, you think, okay, everybody's more or less black. You come here and then you'll see a white person get preferential treatment in front of you. So it's like, what? Do something. You don't leave those things behind. They're still here, but they might be in a different form, okay? So yes, you've left behind racism, but now you're met with classism. Now everybody in Ghana thinks that you're rich because of the accent that you have, the way that you dress, your mannerisms, your this and your that. Now you're dealing with something different. So it's not racism, you've just converted it into something else. You're dealing with people that want to take advantage of you in some respects because you are seen as, I'm going to say, a meal ticket or a way out. And sometimes I will say this, right? When it comes to establishing friendships with Ghanaians or whatever, right? Sometimes they do see you as a way out, but not always in a bad way. And what do I mean by that? I mean that they're not trying to take advantage of you. Some people will go out of their way to be friends with you because they see that you can open up opportunities for them, but not in a bad way. They're not trying to take advantage where they want to see you down so they can get up. No. They just want to climb with you. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to take advantage of you. They're just going to be extra nice to you so that they can ride your tailcoat, so to speak. And I think that's fair game. I don't see that there's I don't see that there's any specific problem with that as long as they don't have an ulterior motive, right? If they're just like, I'm going to attach myself to this person because this person can help me out in certain ways, I think that's all good. I think for most of us, we would do the same thing. If you come across a person like that's super rich, right? Like if you have the chance to be friends with Jay-Z, you might not like some of the things he does, some of his character attributes, right? But you know what? You're going to be extra nice to him because you know what? He can open certain doors for you. And so it's the same principle when you come here. It's just a lower level. So that's how you're seen. You're seen in that way. You're not seen like Jay-Z. But you get what I'm saying? Like you're seen as special in that way where you can be someone's opportunity to something. And that's not a bad thing. Ghana very much requires a lot of resilience, a lot of patience, and a lot of adaptability. And if you're not the kind of person that embraces change, or you're not patient, either Ghana will teach you that, or you have to open yourself up to being adaptable and being okay with change. Because when you come to Ghana, you're going to change. You're going to change as a person internally, externally, in every sense of the matter, you are going to change. Ghana changes you completely as a person. And I think for the most part, I think it has been good for people. But you have to be able to look at yourself. Some of us are running from things because we don't want to face them. And if you are looking for healing and you are looking for inner peace, then Ghana is going to be great for that, because it will force you to look at those things and it will force you to be a better person. I can say, if I talk about myself specifically, I changed so much since being in Ghana that, and I mean for the better, that I'm so grateful to Ghana for that it gave me that opportunity to be able to use that mirror to look inwardly, because I needed to be able to see some things in myself for me to live a better lifestyle, to love who I am, and just be appreciative of the life that I have and can have. And that's what Ghana will do to you. So, you know, if you come to Ghana and you know that you've had issues with finding inner peace, you're going to find that here. If you're open to learning, right, and being teachable, you're going to find that because of the slowness of how Ghana is. So that's what I said, when you come to Ghana, it won't fix your problems, it will magnify them, it will put a mirror in front of you, but that's not a bad thing. Those are not bad things. It is going to allow you to do the work in yourself that you need to do. It's going to tell you to fix certain things about yourself. It's going to force you into that. So if you want to change and you want to be this better person, if you want to discover new things about yourself, then Ghana or Africa is a great place to be able to see those things within yourself. You know, a lot of people come here because, you know, they want to live the luxury lifestyle, right? You want to have house help. You want to have a driver. You want to have flexibility of work. You want to be able to wake up when you want, go to sleep what you want. You want to break all the rules that, you know, you have in the West. You know, like for me, one of the things that I love about being in Ghana is, you know, pretty much I can go to bed whatever time I want, I wake up whatever time I want, because of the kind of lifestyle that I've put together for myself. And I love that, because I'm not a person that believes in alarm clocks. Like, don't give me no alarm clock. Although obviously sometimes I have to set my alarm because I have an appointment, I have to be somewhere. But for the most part, most days I can go to bed. I don't do alarms. Don't disturb me. I'm sleeping or whatever, right? And that's not to say that I sleep a lot. I don't really sleep that much. But I'm just saying, like, the flexibility of lifestyle. Today you can be doing this, tomorrow you can be doing this. Like, Ghana gives you those options. And those options are great. But if you can't handle lights off, if you can't handle water issues, if you can't handle bumpy roads, then you're not getting exactly what you want. So you move from the West to live a luxury lifestyle, but not everything around you in Ghana is luxury. It's not luxurious to find that your internet keeps running out. Someone is stealing your electricity. You know, this is not working, that is not working. So you may have a certain sense of a luxury lifestyle when you come here, but you now have certain issues that you didn't even have in the West. You no longer have those smooth roads that you had in the West. You know, you never had a perfect system. You know, in the West, you can order clothes today, by tomorrow they come. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait for certain things. Whereas now you've come to Ghana, postal system doesn't work like that. You order something, you might wait. That's if you can order things. You might have to wait 2 weeks. One of the things that I found frustrating when I came here was that, you know, if I want to order some stuff, I have to do it via shipping. So that means I have to wait 4 to 6 weeks. So I order stuff and I have to learn patience, because the items that I order are not now next day delivery. They're now like 6 weeks delivery, because I have to wait for I have to wait for someone to box stuff up for it to be shipped here, you know. And again, this is how some people have come, solved the problem and made some money for themselves. Now people have opened up services where they will allow you to deliver things to their house, right? And then they put it on a plane for you, or however transport mode is, so you get it quicker, right? There are certain things that you can order online. There are certain places here where you can order items of clothing or whatever, and you can get it in the week. You can put rush orders in, but obviously there's a premium for that. But this is how people are solving problems here. So if I had wanted to solve that problem, I could have, if I saw it in that way, if it meant that much to me. So instead of doing 6 weeks for delivery, you know, I need an outfit, I need some stuff, right? Instead of waiting 6 weeks for the shipping to come and for someone to box up the stuff for me, I could have opened one of these services where I'm like, you know what, I got a friend in the UK, we're going to start this business together. I'm going to get the stuff sent to their address. You order online, pay for it, whatever, as a customer, order it to this address. My friend will bag it up, box it up, whatever, and then we get it sent to you. You get it in the week. And this is how much we charge. That is how people were solving problems here. So things that were frustrating, depending on the level of frustrating that was for you, people were using those things to solve issues for people. And that's how they were making it. But anyway, I am digressing a little bit. So as I said before, your move to Ghana should not be an emotional one. It has to be strategic for it to work. Like anything in life that you do is all about strategy, right? It's all a game of chess. You have to understand what you're doing. So there's certain things that you're going to need. You're going to need a really great financial plan. So if you know that you're bad with money, you have to sort out your money problems, right? One of the first things that you should do if you know that you have money problems is make sure that you don't have debt and expenses that you're going to carry from the West to Ghana. You know, you hear of people who still have phone bills that are from the States. They still have, mortgages that they have to pay. Like they may have rented out their house, but maybe they have to top up. Or, they still have certain expenses. They still have loans or whatever that they're still paying. Therefore, you haven't been able to completely walk away and say, okay, well, now I can live off $500 a month. You can't. You're still living off $1,500 because you still have $1,000 of debts left in the West that you're still having to handle. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have a plan. So you need to put certain things into place. So your decision to move here definitely shouldn't be a rushed one. You have to take your time and you have to tie up loose ends before you get here so that you're not causing yourself more stress. One of the things that was a problem for me when I came to Ghana was that the financial plan, which was ridiculous. Now I think about it and look back at it. The financial plan that I had was we'll rent out the house that we have and we'll live off the rental income, because at that time, right, I think the mortgage that we had, because rates had dropped so much, the house was like, was it 150 or 200 pounds a month? That was an interest only mortgage that we have, right? And so it was like £200 a month or something like that, something like minor. And then we were renting out the house, and I think we were getting, was it like 1,000 or something close to £1,000 a month, right, on renting out the house. And so it's like, okay, we come to Ghana, we have like £800 a month to live off. We could do this. This is great. Until the person stopped paying. Until there were problems in the house that needed to be fixed, and we as the property owners had to fix them. And then the income starts to deplete, and then the person moved out. Now, oh my gosh, we've lost all our income. Like, what do we do? How do we do it? Now we're not even in the country anymore. We need someone to property manage. Now we have to get someone to property manage, and they take a fee. Every month they take a fee from you to look after this property. So now we're dealing with a different set of problems. So although we thought that is a great financial plan, I'm going to live off rental income, until there's a problem. And you can't run away from things in the West like you can in Ghana. Certain things, landlords here, there's a problem with the house, maintenance issue, they'll just, they run in their own time. They won't look after it. You end up doing it yourself. You can't do that in the UK. There are things that are going to happen to you if you don't take care of business. So you are forced to do those things. Now you've lost your whole plan has fallen apart. So that's what I'm saying. You need a really good, strong financial plan that's going to be able to take you through, and you need to think of the ups and downs that can happen so that you're able to manage this thing. You have to have as well emotional stability. Now, what do I mean by emotional stability? Like I said before, right? You need to do some inner work. You need to work on traumas that you have, that you're coming with, right? Because a lot of us, including myself, are coming here with traumas. I had a lot of internal, what can I call it? Just like how I felt about myself. I had a lot of those issues coming here because of some of the things that I'd been through in the UK where, I doubted myself so much. And so being here and even being able to sit in front of the camera with you guys like this took a lot for me. You might think, oh, I sit in front of the camera and, I can just talk whatever. No, I had a lot of self-esteem issues. Like, that's why people that knew me from the West and see what I'm doing now, they're like, how are you able to do, that's a different Dela. Because I had to work on some issues within myself. I had to progress in life somehow. Like I said, Ghana gave me the mirror and told me, look in it. What do you see? And so I had to deal with those things. And when I was able to deal with those things, I slowly started to come out of my shell until I was able to embrace my full self. Like I always say, I'm a very quirky person. I hid a lot of that when I was in the UK. You'd only see glimpses of it. But now I'm like, chat, this is me, take me, leave me, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? This is who I am. I like to be authentic in my personality and my dealings with people. You're not going to see a different side of me on camera and off camera, because I deliberately make sure that I am who I am, because that is who I love. I love me like this. right? So those are issues, those are some traumas that I had to deal with coming here. So if you're coming with traumas, make sure that you deal with them. Either deal with them before you get here, or know that when you get here, you need to deal with some things. If you have issues that surround whatever it is, like I said, men, or issues that surround women and how you feel about them, if you have issues with, I don't know, like how you feel that you're treated, if you have issues around racism and, you know, issues that you feel like there's injustice in it, either you come and you deal with those issues that are personal to you, or you find ways to make improvements to the system that is here so that not everybody has to go through it. That's how you deal with those things, right? So you don't just carry it and carry from one place to another. You actually have to deal with certain things here. Everything in Ghana, as I said before, is magnified. You cannot run away from anything here. Everything is magnified. You know, I would say in Ghana, you even have to be more purposeful when it comes to certain things. So you must make sure you get some type of healthcare plan that works for you here, right? Wherever that's going to be. If, like, maybe you get sick, you need to make sure that you have a way to leave the country if that God forbid happens, right? Or, you know, if you have some type of health issue, right? You need to be able to know which doctor you're going to and which is going to be the best for you. Because I will say this about healthcare in Ghana: although you can find hospitals everywhere, some hospitals are going to be better for certain things than others, right? Some hospitals are going to understand what you're saying. Some hospitals are not going to understand what you're saying. Some hospitals are going to expect you to self-diagnose and tell them what it is, and then they'll prescribe you something. Some hospitals won't. And I will say this, right? I would say it happens in the UK too. I can speak for that, because there's some things that happened in the UK that when I went to the doctor was like, oh, no, it can't be this. It can't be this. It can't be that. And I was having to list out, no, but these are the symptoms. I had to go back a number of times to say, look, but this is it, until I forced them to dig deeper. And then they were like, oh, it seems that there is an issue. So I would say that that's kind of like how doctors are. So when it comes to some health issues that we have, right, everybody's body is different. There are some things that will affect one person this way. There's some things that will affect another person this way, right? Things like malaria. Malaria can hide in different types of ways. For some people, when they get malaria, they may just feel extremely tired. They may just like not feel themselves, but they're not really having any like real symptoms. They're not like, I have to be rushed to hospital. They don't get it like that. They just get it in a different way, but they still have malaria. Now you go to the doctors. The doctor may not see that you have malaria. They may prescribe you with something like, oh, tiredness, like you need to take a break, you need to sleep, you need to eat more veg, you need to eat this, you need to eat, like, meanwhile you have malaria. So it's like everybody's body is different. So when it comes to doctors being able to diagnose certain things, it's more that you have to know your body and tell the doctor what it is, for them to be able to help you problem solve whatever this issue is, rather than them being able to say, okay, well, it's this or it's that. Anyway, that is me digressing. But the whole point of the video is that if you're looking to come to Ghana to solve problems for you, you're not solving them, you're just bringing them with you. And some of them have just changed. They've just they've just changed on you. They have changed from racism to classism. They have changed from men wanting to pay 50-50 to men expecting certain things from you. You've come from being able to more or less be equal in the workplace, right, men and women, to a male-dominated society, right, where you as the woman should shh. You've changed your set of problems. So if you're not open to changing, then those things are going to irritate you, they're going to upset you, they're going to make you feel frustrated. So you have to be open to that. So Ghana is not a bandage for issues that you have. It's a place where you come to heal. And that is where I'm going to leave this video right there. I hope you've understood what I've said. Let me know what you think about in the comment section. Let me know about experiences that you face. Let me know about perhaps issues that have come up in your life where you didn't even think was an issue in the West, but you've come here and you've been given the mirror. I can say for me, I knew I had some self-esteem issues, but I didn't know the extent of them until I came here. But hey ho, that is it. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor. hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Nutifafa.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wings.